Today, September 5th, 1969, this court hereby holds the trial of the United States versus Lieutenant William Calley based on accusations of various war crimes. Defendant, state your case.
On the morning of March 16th, 1968, I did in fact kill and order the killing of many Vietnamese. But to understand why, you first have to hear my side of the story.
Continue, Mr. Calley.
Months before the event, my platoon and I landed in Vietnam, ready and prepared to serve our country. We had trained hard, but what we would face was something these young men were not ready for. I should call them boys because that's what they really were. But out of respect, I consider them men. We came into Vietnam ready to fight the enemy and win battle after battle, just as America had done in the past. We were ready to fire our weapons at any target necessary, but we never had the opportunity. The VC struck fast and stealthy, leaving no target to aim at. As soon as we heard the crunch of a stick or the whistle of the wind, it would be followed by a scream. We saw our own brothers, people that we had spent the scariest times of our life with, people that just saw us at our lowest point, people that hide out back, people that would die for us. We weren't just a platoon group, we were a family.
Excuse me, Your Honor, where is this leading?
Order in the court. Let him finish.
We were angry at ourselves for not being able to retaliate, angry at the VC for taking our man, angry at God for putting us in this position, and angry at each other. My platoon begged for the opportunity to attack, but I could not instigate any warfare without the command from my superiors. If I were to stage an attack, I would lose the command of my platoon, and they're my family.
Enough with the semantics. Let's get to the point here.
When I finally received the command that it was time to attack, I told my platoon with great joy. The effect that it had on the platoon, however, was not what I expected. I told them that my superiors had given me the order to, and I quote, kill every living thing. Their reaction was different than mine, however. Due to the circumstances and the long wait these men endured, they seemed to forget their training as they prepared to kill. As the plans were laid out, I was tempted to tell my men to settle down, but how could I? This was their first chance at warfare, and my superiors said nothing of their behavior that I thought was unusual. When the final preparations were made out and we went into battle, the adrenaline took over. Had it not been for the brutal killing of our own men without the ability of them to retaliate, the result, without a doubt, would have been much different. But because of these circumstances, the event that occurred was inevitable. Thank you, Your Honor.
Now that we have heard the defendant speak, prosecutor, you may now make your case and question him.
What an absolute sob story, Lieutenant. But you left out a little too much. Did you, Lieutenant, and your platoon not interrupt a village of innocent Vietnamese citizens at Market and rally them up in the center?
I had not yet arrived at the scene to see that happen.
So you don't claim any responsibility of your men killing the only villager with a gun and then pushing another into a well to only be accompanied by a grenade?
Sir, once again, I had not yet arrived at the scene.
So you claim no responsibility of your men opening fire on 50 to 60 unarmed, innocent Vietnamese citizens with your army-issued M16 rifles?
I arrived at the scene at the sound of gunshots.
So you saw your men open fire on women and children like they were dummies at the shooting range?
Sir, I simply cannot speak for the actions of my men, but I arrived to the scene as quick as possible.
Did your so-called adrenaline rush lead you and your crew to rape countless Vietnamese women and dispose of them after?
Your Honor, this just simply never happened.
If you are so sure this never happened, then why did you and your superiors try to cover up what happened that day?
Your Honor, this is just simply irrelevant. I object.
Yes, Lieutenant. I'm afraid this is relevant.
This information was leaked to us by ex-GI Ronald Ridenour months after this event had occurred. Ridenour heard one of your men bragging about this event that occurred under your supervision, or should I say, lack of. Thanks to him, we found out it was you who organized and participated in these attacks, only stopping for a lunch break. You took no shame in your actions, and you should take no shame in the consequences that come with them.
Now that we have heard both accounts of the event, I will review the evidence and come back with a verdict. Lieutenant William Calley, you will hereby be charged with the premeditated murder of 22 people with one case of attempted murder against a child of 2 years of age. Due to Article 118 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, you have committed murder because you had a premeditated design to kill, intent to inflict great bodily harm, a disregard for human life, and rape.
Enjoy your time in jail, Callie.
Your sentence will be 3.5 years of house arrest with application for parole available after that. That will be the end of the trial.